Good morning and welcome to Havering Means Business Morning Commute, the first one of 2021. Hopefully I've got a few people in the waiting room, so we'll let those people in and we can have our first chat of the new year. Russ, let me know when you're letting them in.
No.
Okay, cool. Right, we've got people coming in now, so that's all good. Who should we start with? Who's popped up on my list? Ian, how are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you, Chris.
Good. How's 2021 going so far for you?
Quite busy. It's going to be an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. It feels a lot like 2020 at the minute, doesn't it?
All depends on your outlook, mate.
It does, and I'm trying to keep as optimistic as perspective as possible. So that's all good. What are you busy on?
Well, I'm busiest on helping people set up a new chamber of commerce in Chelmsford.
Okay.
That's the thing. So, I mean, I was really surprised that there wasn't one.
Yeah.
But no, it's been interesting, and being right at the start of something like this is eye-opening. I mean, with all the things that I've dealt with, starting up something like this brings new challenges. The different types of documentation is.
Yeah. Well, they've got the right man for the job, though, haven't they? Surely.
Well, yes, they have. I must admit, it is one of the things that weirdly I love doing because I like solving problems. So
yeah. And what's been the greatest? Has the reception been good for it? Do you reckon there's a demand for it or not?
Oh yeah, there's been really good reception for it. The people that we've been in touch with want a new and vibrant way of doing business.
Yeah.
The networking groups that are around in Chelmsford, the ones that do best are the ones that are, proving to be relevant for our current times. And
yeah, great. Yeah, they need to be modern, don't they, to keep up, I think. Thanks, Ian. We'll come back to you and talk a little bit about business a little bit later on. Andrew, how you doing, mate? Oh, now, I don't know whether that was intentional, but you sounded a lot like Mickey Mouse just then. Can you try again for me? No, now he sounds like, I don't know, Charlie Chaplin. It's gone all silent movie. So, Andrew, I'll come back to you in a minute, mate. Hopefully your mic's going to be working. And we'll move on to Julie. Julie is in my good books still. Because those flowers you delivered just for Christmas, Julie. Number one was a big surprise to Cassie, but I'm still living off the benefits of that. So thank you.
It was the Christmas miracle, wasn't it, Chris?
It's a rare. You know what? It's a weird one because I'm not a big flower person, but the impact the flowers made on Cassie was amazing. So I really appreciate that.
She nearly fell over at the store.
Really, you're sharing all my secrets now, mate. I mean, I'd love to pretend that I buy Cassie flowers all the time, but now I can't.
You can now.
Yeah, exactly. How you doing?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Yeah.
Good. 2021 going all right so far?
Yeah. No, it's good.
Good to hear. Lisa, how are you?
Yep, I'm good.
Good. Okay, and thanks for joining. I know you've been on the group for a little while, but as you put it, hiding in the shadows. What are the shadows like? What's going on in the shadows?
Not much.
It's better out in the light, isn't it? Surely. Okay, we'll come back to you later in a minute and talk a little bit about your business. But for now, Simon, how are you, mate?
I'm wonderful. Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Well,
now I know
but it's New Year.
Now I know last time I spoke to you, you were doing some work at home over Christmas. How did that go?
Yeah, I've been making a cupboard from scratch. So yes, it's going very well, thank you.
Okay, cool. You know what? Just as a completely unpractical man, I'm always impressed by that. So, are you just like, what have you done this sort of stuff before, or are you
Only a
like,
few times. No, I'll try anything.
okay? What's the most impressive thing you've ever built?
I don't know. It's a bit of a difficult question. I'm not often asked the words. My key hobbies are DIY and cars.
Fine.
So I've
Okay.
rebuilt engines and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So maybe it's an engine. Okay, we'll come back to that one. My one I think was a IKEA bookshelf, but I bought it as a cupboard. So I don't know what happened. Terry, how are you?
Sorry, was it me?
Terry, how you doing, mate? Chris,
Yeah,
Chris,
well,
then I'll come to you.
very well, Chris. Thank you very much.
Well done, mate.
Day 8 of dry January, and I'm still here. And I've still got fingernails and everything. So
Yeah, well, I'm participating in Dry January at the minute. I'm also doing a burpee challenge, which is not the way you want to spend January, but it's keeping me in shape.
this is my second Zoom call of the day. I had my PT session at 6 o'clock this morning.
How'd it go?
By Zoom. Yeah, pretty tiring.
You know what? When the gyms are open, I used to do the Friday really early. I used to do the Fridays at 6. And I came back full of energy, but by about 2:30, that was me done for the day. Do you know what I mean? The problem is you start your day earlier, and it's got to finish at some point earlier. Thanks, Terry. I'll come back to you. We'll talk business in a minute, mate. Ross, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Happy 2021. Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy New Year to everybody. How is everyone? Everyone good?
Good, yeah. As things at Havering Daily, what's happening over at the paper?
Well, to be honest with you, I thought it'd be quite quiet with another lockdown, but we've been having loads of stories come through, and to be honest with you, it did die down for a few days over Christmas, and I was able to just, not have a nice rest. And
so you actually had some days without work, Rose, I hope. I know you love a bit of grafting, but you need to have some rest time as well, mate.
That's right. I kept my laptop shut for 3 days, and that was good enough.
Good stuff. Kelly, how are you? A long time no see. How you doing?
It's been a while. Yeah, very well, thank you. Yeah, I've been stalking in the shadows as well.
You've been in the shadow. How many people are sitting in the shadows? I don't know. I mean, it must be quite busy in the shadows, right?
It would appear so, yes.
Good to see you. We'll talk business in a little while, Kelly. Christine, how are you? We are actually coming to you now. How you doing?
Fine. No, I just missed it. It kind of cut out, so I wasn't sure if it was me. I didn't want to just sit there looking blank. So happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. How was your New Year's Eve? Because our one was sort of a bit quiet and weird in our house.
No, it was nice. We kind of made the most of it. So saw the new year in. Wasn't too keen on the BBC's depiction of what we see the new year as, but anyway. I have more positivity for the year than what they have.
Too early in the year, right?
Sorry?
Let's not get too political too early in the year.
No, but it was. I don't think it was the right foot to send everybody off into the new year. But then I suppose it was the start of what they were about to release. So
yeah, true. Sharon, how you doing?
Am I on mute? No, I'm not on mute. Good morning.
You're not on mute. And unlike Andrew, I mean, I'm just wondering what Andrew's going to sound like next. I mean, that is going to be that's going to be interesting. But how you doing?
I'm all good, thank you. How are you all? Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Carol, how are you?
Okay, thanks. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. All good.
Just same as a few other mentions. Yeah, dry January and running every day in January and doing a detox.
So I'm doing a bit of running in January as well. I've been out for 2 so far, but it's cold out there, Carol. I mean, I'm just sort of I'm due for a run a little bit later on. I'm finishing early today for a run. The problem is normally I do my running in the evening, and that's fine in the summer. But going out at as soon as it's 5 o'clock, it's dark, isn't it? So when do you run?
I go first thing as well because I don't want to go in the dark and it gets it over with. But you've all saved me this morning, so thank you.
And what distance do you run? How far is you run in the morning?
Because I'm running every day, I'm doing half an hour, however that far that takes me. But
Yeah.
my intention is to start building up the distance again. But
You know what's interesting though, when I because I ran London last year, I did the London Marathon last year, and when we went to, I did it for St Francis, and when we went for the training day that St Francis put on, which is amazing, they had a sports psychologist there who was talking about running, and one of his tips was don't tie yourself to a time in terms of a distance too early, because if you miss it by a couple of seconds, you get demotivated. But do it the way that you're doing it. Just go out for half an hour. Just do it as long as you can, and then you've done your day's run, haven't you? So I think you've got it the right way.
I'm glad I'm doing something right.
Well, I didn't know, because I was doing it by I need to get this time by this period, but apparently that can work against you as well as for you psychologically. So yeah, it seems to work. Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing very well indeed, Chris. Good morning, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, mate. Happy New Year. How was it for you?
Yeah, like everybody else, it's fairly quiet but enjoyable. Unexpected fireworks to see from the top of the house here when they started to fall at Canary Wharf, which was quite pleasant.
What was you doing on top of your house?
Well, the bedroom, as you know, we're in the windmill, so we've got fair height advantage. But
you know what? Then we
surprise.
drove over Christmas, just as a sort of a trip out. We went to a park in Upminster, and the windmills look, because they've done the windmill up, haven't they?
Well, after 5 years, we eventually got the windmill back with sails and whatever, mate. So that's very good. Now
it looks good.
Now they're just decimating all the field and whatever around it. So that's the trouble. But we will get there, I'm sure, eventually.
Well, when I went past, there was loads of sort of like building material and stuff like that out there. When's that due to be done?
Well, it's due to be finished 2.5 years ago, so I reckon spring, hopefully.
Okay, fingers crossed. Spring this year.
Yeah, no, it's been an interesting 5 years when it's a 2-year project, but no, it's looking decent now.
Yeah, it is. Andrew, we're going to come back to you and see whether we can get you on again. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, Chris. Yourself?
Amazing! You sound like Andrew. How was your New Year?
Yeah, quiet. A few little bits and pieces in, but yeah, overall not bad.
Good stuff. And we'll come back and talk business in a minute. And we've got Lisa. Lisa, how you doing?
You hear me?
I can.
Oh, it's right, because the kids keep playing with my computer and it messes up every time I've gone to Zoom. I'm like, I don't know what stage we're at. I'm good, thanks. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. What are the kids using the computer for, like sort of homeschooling, or what are they doing?
Can I just say, they've got their own computers, and I've got 2 laptops and a computer, but they seem to just want mine. So I don't know why. So I logged on yesterday and I was Cameron, so I didn't know what the hell was going on.
You know what? I've got a client. I had a couple of client meetings yesterday, and on one of them, the kids had changed the name to something, I can't remember what it was. It was something ridiculous, and they were going, "That you, Chris, you know that's not me." So they had to change the name back on Zoom, which is one of the.
He's moaning like this now. He's like, "You changed the name." I'm like, "Yeah, it's mine."
Yeah, I do own it. Do you know you've got your own computer?
He's kicking off now. He's like going. I was like, "Yeah, but you're not on till 12 o'clock."
You know what? We one of my client meetings that yesterday. There was the client in question's got a 9-year-old, and so have I, Sophie. And one of the big things was the young un trying to come in and pinch the client's phone just to watch YouTube. And I was like, I can empathise with that. You know, I think that's kids all over. Right, good stuff. I think we've said hello to everybody. And what we'll do is we'll do a quick round robin in terms of talking about our business. And on my screen, Ian is at the top. So, Ian, tell us a little bit about your business, what you're up to at the minute. Feel free to share what you're doing with the Chamber as well. And how, as a community, we can help.
Well, thank you, Chris. So the business is a business consultancy specialising in changing compliance. Apart from the Chamber, my biggest challenge at the moment is helping one of my clients get a consumer credit licence. They had one before when they were part of the OFT, and now that they're registered and controlled through an FCA, it's a whole different ball game. So the amount of paperwork that we've had to create has been immense. You know what the FCA are like, Chris, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I've just paid my FCA invoice for the year, and they're not in my. Unlike Julie, the FCA are not in my good books at the minute.
Yeah, Julie's in my good books too. She helped me out. But just so I'm clear, was your partner / whoever you bought flowers for as surprised as Cassie? Yes. Yeah. And
it's not only me then. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. No, it's the little arrangement that came in. I asked for a couple of red roses. I think there was 8 or 9. So Julie, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Okay. The chamber. It's all about bringing a new form of chamber. Quite a few chambers that are around can be a bit stuffy, a bit of a, if you pardon the sexism part of it, a bit of an old boys club. This chamber is trying to be very active on behalf of members. We've got some big goals to work through, really in quite a short space of time. Including bringing out what we're captioning as a young chamber. So that isn't just about new businesses, it's also about helping people of 16 to 21 to get to grips with what they might need to know if they want to start their own business.
Yeah.
So there's also going to be an amount of giving back to the community, the business community in and around Chelmsford.
I suppose the other thing as well is the increasing popularity of people starting businesses at a younger age.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, in Havering, while the cafe was still on the marketplace in its original format, of course, we had Havering young professionals meet there.
Yeah.
So, you know, the idea of having a group for young business owners certainly isn't new. So we're just trying to bring that back, because it's something that's kind of going down, which is a real shame.
Yeah, maybe 2021's the year to bring it back, but yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's fine. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate that. So, as we are the Julie Wedge fan club, we better let her go next. Julie, what's going on in your world?
Thank you. I'm glad.
How was firstly, how was the Christmas rush? I'd imagine it was busy for you, right?
Yeah, it was. I was supposed to stop on the 22nd, but I stopped on the 24th because orders just kept coming in, and because of lockdown. I'm generally usually busy anyway in January.
Okay.
Occasions, over Christmas, there's like quite a big catch up. But this year I'm very busy.
That's good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And what sort of work?
Bouquet, doing a lot of bouquet work, and my funeral work, sadly, but good for me, is increasing.
Yeah.
I've had a big uptake this week. It's yeah.
Yeah.
If people aren't paying any attention, wow.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? But again, if you want to pay tribute, you want to do it in a way that really shows you as, you know. So yeah, doing that is. Do you? I know because I know from our previous conversations, you really like to understand what the relationship between two people were, so you can do a good job. How do you do that well in that sensitive situation?
Well, usually I will go and make a meeting with the family and then just come and get to know everyone.
Yeah.
I can do it on Zoom, but it's very impersonal. So at the moment I'm setting aside about half hour, 3/4 of an hour chat with them.
Yeah.
And just chatting.
Yeah.
And the last 2 jobs that I've had in for next week, I spoke to someone and they've had a small arrangement, and they've passed my number on to the main family.
Yeah.
Hence, and then I've got the bigger job.
Yeah, and then it gets busier and busier, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just giving people time. Massive.
Yeah.
You know, it's huge. People's time and listening to someone that isn't probably family. It's huge.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, in what we do, having a really deep understanding of somebody and giving them just the time to tell, like, sort of, we start every meeting with, how can I help? And then just let the person talk. And that's normally enough to spark a conversation that's pretty sort of deep at times. So yeah, it's important, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it is, and it is to me. I much prefer that voice conversation.
Amazing, thank you. Really appreciate that.
No.
Lisa, you're out in the shadows now. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Oh yeah, so I'm a small business, work from home, and I run Lisa White Designs, where I create and provide personalised gifts, clothing, accessories, home decor, and branded merchandise.
Okay.
So yeah, I do that in terms of for branded merchandise. It's done with vinyl, HTV, and I also do sublimation printing.
Okay, so assume that I know nothing about branded merchandise, and you would be far from the truth. What's sublimation printing?
Sublimation printing is a process whereby you use special ink to so any image, you can take any image that you can print, and you can then put that onto items of clothing and other substrates, but it has to have a polymer coating.
Okay, and what would that typically be used for?
So you can have t-shirts, hoodies, you can get bags, you can get mugs, all different kinds of things. It's just such a huge range can be done, even down to like umbrellas.
Okay, cool. And just talk to me a little bit about where your business started, came from, where you are now, and as a community, now you're out of the shadows, as a community, how we can help.
So the business, I mean, it's been going for a while, but under a different name. I'm a crafter at the end of the day. That's how I started out. I just love making stuff, and I like learning the whole process. So like some people will make stuff and not necessarily learn the full process, but I really like digging deep into the process. And it started out as LJ Crochet because I originally started crocheting.
Okay.
And just what I was being asked for just expanded, and then I ended up going into machine embroidery, and then that led into the vinyl and the sublimation, and yeah. But no, I literally, so when I say I dig deep in terms of, if we're talking, so you would go to a shop and buy a jumper, a wool jumper. My brain says, well, how do you get that? Where does it come from? Yeah, so I went through the process of buying a sheep's fleece and washing it and processing it and spinning it and knitting it.
You didn't shave the sheep though. You didn't go to
no,
no. Just checking. Yeah. Just checking. And how does what you do compare with just going to a shop?
You're buying something that's unique. You can't get that in the shop. Even when it comes to the vinyl and the sublimation, obviously when it comes to that, I'm not making the t-shirt or the hoodie from scratch, but when you come to me, I will try and source a design or make your logo stand out to be more unique than if you just went anywhere to like a large company.
Okay, great. And what's the favorite thing you've ever designed or made? Or
that's a difficult one. I think my favorite thing that I actually, Julie's gonna really laugh at this, because my favorite thing that I really like is my embroidered poppies that I make. even though they are a massive, it's going to go mad here at the moment. I've got 3 dogs kicking off. But they are the bane of my life come October because everybody wants them, and they take ages to make. But I just love
You
them.
love
I really
doing
do
them.
Enjoy them. Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks
Can I just
for.
ask you a question, Chris? Do you mind?
Sure. Yeah. Far away, Ross. Go on.
Excellent. Sorry. Thank you. Hi, Lisa. I
Hiya.
was wondering if you've got a website or somewhere, a Facebook page or something I could look at around the services you do. I'm currently in the middle of creating a product. I've sourced the materials, I've sourced and everything I need. I was looking at options for either embroidery or like printing onto the material. So I could probably do with your advice, and maybe you might be able to, assist me in some way.
Yep. You can find me on Facebook. Just look up Lisa White Designs.
Lisa White Designs.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries.
Russ, can you?
Sorry,
Russ. Excuse me, I got through my throat. Russ, can you share Lisa's Facebook page on the notes when we publish the video?
Yeah, I'll make sure that's done.
You're done. All right. Is that all right, Russ? Amazing. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. Simon, tell us a little bit about what's going on in your world.
Right, yeah. For those who don't know me, my name, as you can see on the screen, Simon Lewin. I work for an organisation called East London Business Place. We run a project which is funded by Havering Council called the Building Legacies Project, and what it does is it offers free business support to businesses in Havering, and we also provide a service across London. I think I might be turning into an accountant over the last week, because the conversations I've been having with people are very excited about making profit, but then being in a situation of how they're going to pay for that and how they're going to move forward for next year to make sure that they're not caught out with a large tax requirement. I've also taken on some new clients from a colleague of mine, and I would say that there is this desire for people, just for you, Chris, to pivot and want to do something different. Some people have left it and have hoped that something would transpire where they could continue working in the same way. Other people are constantly being agile in what they're doing and constantly looking at how they can improve their service offering. So it's for the first week back, it's been extremely busy. We've also changed some things that we're doing. We've got some workshops that are coming up. We've got one next week on LinkedIn at the moment, I think we've got quite a few people listed on there. We've got a few spaces left. We are doing continuing to run our Havering event, which is Havering focused purely for Havering clients or businesses within Havering to continue to support each other. Again, some of you are already on that particular event, and what we're trying to do regularly is try and get some council involvement as well, particularly relevant at this moment in time with all the changes, and there'll be loads of questions as to how can, with a new round of funding, what can the council do possibly? So we're trying to work really hard in terms of actually getting representative from the council, just sometimes to give us an overview, but there's also an educational slot as well. So this time of year, if people are looking at what they're doing, it's probably a good time to also look at your business plan, your growth plan, that sort of thing. So we'll be doing an educational slot on that session, and that's taking place on the 19th of January, and on the 21st of January we have a sales training session about how to engage with your clients to get the most out of them. So that's our world at the moment.
Simon, one particular point in terms of that, how are you seeing people change what they do and sort of navigate the world we're in today? I'm trying to avoid using the word pivot.
We should have a pivot pot, virtual pivot pot. I would say it depends really on the sector that you're in. Some of it is in terms of support. So if you're supporting other businesses, how can you make their service offering better? Some of the stuff that I've been dealing with this week has actually been about well-being and care, and what's happening in communities across London with regard to crime, with regard to mental health awareness, that sort of thing. So it's looking at how you can tap in to funds, and there are funds still available. There are still tender opportunities out there, how you can tap into that sort of stuff in order to make sure that whatever your offering is relevant and uses the buzz terms associated to whatever's going on within the environment. So if you were, for example, using well-being as an example, maybe using statistical data about how many people are suffering, the increase. Some of that stuff is available through media on a larger scale. Some of it's available statistically through the councils. It's using that sort of information to say,
you know what's interesting, with you talk about using that data. I don't know if anybody, and again, it's different for each profession, but the Office of National Statistics website is amazing for that. I mean, it's just like so much information on there. And if you're trying to validate your service in terms of the desire out there, it's a really useful tool. So check that out. Terry, how are you, mate? Tell us about what's going on in your world.
Had a busy run into Christmas. A lot of inquiries coming through, a lot of referrals. Really interesting to see, like Gemma and I were looking at what we've done over the last quarter. A lot of the referrals are coming through from networking that we've been doing over the last 4 or 5 years. Not particularly something that's happened now, but just where we've been out and about and seeing. And for me, I mean, because Gemma was new to the business when she came in, and it's kind of reinforced it for me. This is what I said to her at the beginning, because she was disheartened when she first started. She was like, well, I'm going to all these networking meetings and nothing has happened. And I'm like, no, it doesn't happen straight away. You have to be there. People have to build up the trust, have to be comfortable with you. And it doesn't fit, what we do doesn't fit people on a regular, like on every stage of their life. But, then we'll come back to you. And it's really come in. She's had a nice little 25-man company come through, a referral from a now defunct networking group, but the guy still knows us and comes through. So so we've a lot of pickup, a lot of interest from families now to get cover. Sorry, those that don't know me, we provide private medical insurance, so it gives people peace of mind that they can get access to hospitals and doctors as and when they need it. So it's been, that side of it's been busy. And also our existing customers, we help our existing customers, not just, we don't just sell them a policy and walk away. So they talk to us about what's going on. Disturbingly and not unsurprisingly, a lot of interest in the mental health side of what we provide. So people are asking us how they can contact the helplines and the wellbeing guidance that we provide. So it's great that we're helping people. It's disturbing that that's coming along, but
And I think in both our sectors, Sarah, you've got to build up the trust, haven't you? And people will engage with you when they need you, not when you need to work with them. So it's just being that consistent source. And I think you and I agree on this particular point, that just being there for existing clients, certainly in like the sort of Q1 of 2020, I spent all my time just working with existing clients, making sure they were okay. But that's paid off in referrals. That's
absolutely. I was just going to say that, like, for me, it was Q2 when people were concerned, like there were the lockdowns coming, but they can't afford the premium, some adjusting their premiums for them, etc. But the referrals are coming from that.
Coffee, please. I've just been visited. I've got to take the opportunity. I've got to drive through. I might as well just get my coffee order in. Thanks, Terry. Really appreciate that, mate. Ross, tell me what's going on in your world, business-wise.
So really, I've been working hard, so I'm on top of everything, and So it's allowed me to work on some of the items that are going to save me a lot of time and effort going forward. So I'm a big fan of automation. And yeah, anywhere I feel I can make some savings in effort and time, I will explore them in, when I get a chance. So that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. I've got a meeting with Simon next week. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Simon. So it's prompted me to start to document some of the business ideas I have and decisions that I've made, and also make sure the supporting documentation's in place for those. So it's really new year, getting everything in order, getting stuff wrote down, and yeah, preparing for the rest of the year. I guess that's where I'm at the moment.
Good. And what does and we'll talk about this a little bit later on, but what does 2021 look like for you? What was your plans look like for 2021?
So we have some big plans, some big things that are going to be happening through the Havering Daily this year that I'm really excited about. One particular campaign that I've been working hard to bring into fruition, and it's been difficult, but I think we're only a month or so away before I feel I can launch it. And it's going to be something really good for the borough.
Is this that secret squirrel one you can't mention until it comes out?
I can mention it, but it's, I'd rather mention it when everything's in place. It's like revealing it before, beforehand. I will just, I'll make sure everything's there, so people can fully understand it straight away. But yeah, there's a couple of things happening. I mean, but for 2021, it's about growth. We've done really well. We get some fantastic engagement from the community, but we've not captured all of the people in Havering that are online and are interested in news. I mean, I still speak to people. And you're from the borough? Yep. Have you heard of the Havering Daily? No.
Yeah.
So here's a business.
But I suppose it goes back to that relationship, doesn't it? You've got to invest in building the relationship, and some people get it early and some people won't, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I know we're doing well. You always know when your competitors are copying you, you know you're doing well. And I've always, me and Fran have got a great working relationship, and I always say to her, let's just concentrate on what we do. We've got a formula, we implement it, and it works.
Yeah,
so
100%.
It's about scaling that. And if we take our eye off the prize and we start looking at what our competitors are doing, too much, then we lose focus. So it's about making growth. 2021 is about growth, and obviously every year will be about growth. But for us, we've been going 16 months now, and I know we've got only capturing a fraction of the attention of a fraction of the community. So
sounds exciting. And what I'm excited about, Ross, is just having partnerships throughout Havering with interested parties to make sure that we all work towards that goal. So I look forward to working with you in 2021. Sharon, how are you? First time in 2021 I've said this. Can you just turn your mute off, please?
No, not this morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I figured you could all lip read this morning.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, no pressure, Ross, but Sharon's already commented, and a couple of people that I think they want you to spill the beans, mate.
Yeah.
I'll give you two little bits. So we are looking to do some community awards to recognise some of the people that work really hard to contribute to the borough. But there's also a large campaign that I'm launching to do with tree planting. Let me just
Cool, interesting. Sharon, talk to me about what's going on in your world.
My world is flooded with tax returns.
Yeah, I'd imagine at the minute.
The nice thing is that my tax returns are now all finished apart from 2. And we're now in the phase of just reminding clients what they've got to pay. Some clients who, because last year was just such a dire year for them, have overpaid on payments on account. So the nice thing for them is they get some money back. So it's making sure that HMRC have got their bank details so that it just speeds up this process. So it's just finishing touches for clients. And then we move on. I've got an ebook coming out. I've got an education piece and really guidance for our clients to teach them the value of decent bookkeeping, which has turned out to be a 16-page monster. So I'm trying to trim it down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's all good.
So talk to me about the ebook.
So the ebook is going to be tucked behind a landing page, as you could probably imagine, just to gather some contact details. It's on basic cash flow. So the first webinar I did at the tail end of last year went down really, really well. And I've had so many requests for recordings and more information. So it's just on just simple cash flow for small businesses, just to help get money in and preserve their credit rating, basically.
Amazing. All right. Well, we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about your 2021 plans in a little while. Carol, what's going on in your world?
Managed to unmute.
Yeah, please don't make me say it twice in a meeting. I mean, it's just like sort of.
Definitely not. We're yeah, a bit on the quiet side. January is usually a little bit quiet anyway for us, has been historically, and then obviously now with the lockdown, people are feeling unsure. They don't really know what's happening. They don't really feel like spending that money to promote themselves. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Carol from Door to Door, and we're a leaflet distribution company. So now the focus is on just getting the name out there, getting in touch with people, convincing them that leaflets is the way to go. They're going to stand out from everybody else because it's become something a bit different now. It's, you know, a lot of people are only online, they're only marketing themselves online, but, you know, we're saying this is your way to reach people that don't use a lot of social media, don't go on the community groups on Facebook. So it is the way to get seen, and often their leaflet is then going to direct people to their social media or their website, but it's a good starting point. Everyone's at home, they're going to see the leaflets come through.
So, excuse me. So a couple of thoughts on that. Number one, you've got, during lockdown, despite it being not great, a passive market, haven't you? Because everybody's at home, right? Yeah. But what do you think people, why do you think people are reticent to use your services just at the minute?
I think it's just the people don't really know what's happening. Don't really want to spend out the money. As I say, January is historically quiet for us anyway, just while people are getting themselves sorted out, working out what they're doing. But we've still got a fair bit of work going out. Obviously, the estate agents is a great time for them. Any sort of food delivery, takeaways. The trades are allowed to carry on working this time. So we've got our usual, we've got a couple of builders and a roofer and a landscaper is starting to come up now that we're coming towards spring. So yeah, I say we're really quiet and then I say all these people.
But yeah, we're always looking to grow, aren't we? So it's important to do that. One thing Terry mentioned earlier on is about that long-term relationship, and I know we've spoken briefly before about just being around and consistent. How does that work for you and your business?
Oh, definitely. We, you know, try to stay in touch with our customers, you know, whether they're doing campaigns at that time or not. You know, just the odd phone call. And of course, it's not just about selling, it's just checking in on people, seeing how they're doing, especially if they're businesses that are suffering at these times. We've just spent quite a lot of time in December and even over Christmas organising a campaign with a gym. And yeah, they're absolutely devastated. So, you know, it's a case of not, oh, well, there's no point phoning them because they're not going to do their leaflets now. It's a case of, you know, are you okay? How's it looking? Is there any talk out there about when you might be able to, or are we literally waiting for this to finish? So, yeah, I think it helped.
Yeah, I think interestingly, and I don't know whether this has changed in recent years, but just engaging with clients and making sure you're there and they know you care is better than that cold calling, selling. Like, it's a relationship, isn't it? And that approach has always worked for us, and it sounds like it works for you as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. Kevin, talk to me a bit about what's going on in your life, mate.
Well, a lot the same, mate. It's a new world of Zoom and telephone meetings instead of face-to-face. We're fortunate that in this lockdown, it's bringing that business inquiries in. We are getting the divorce settlement cases, unfortunately, but we also getting the house move. So it's very diverse at the moment. And lifetime mortgage related lending is not really known for possible house moving, but so we have several inquiries at the moment and going through on that situation. So an interesting time.
So that's a mortgage on a new property, but just a lifetime mortgage as opposed to one that's got a term, yeah?
Correct. Just how the gilt's so low at the moment, we're coming up for people 55 plus keener than actual normal mortgage. And obviously without added benefit, no repossession, voluntary payments, not vulnerable, voluntary payments instead of mandatory. So they're liking the flexibility.
Yeah, good stuff. Why the move? Is it typically a downsize? Is it what's happening with
a lot of
that
it is
market?
for family? It's just how we're able to go a little bit more national now, and we're starting to find some people are moving different areas. Got one client moving from Cheshire to Cambridge, so slight downsizing purely to value more than anything, but to be nearer the family. So it's an interesting way of having to adapt to where I've always mainly been local. But we're trying different ways, down from basically East Anglia down to the southwest, with occasional ones coming up in other parts of the country.
But interestingly, the world has got smaller, and they're all doing it electronically, aren't we? You know, it's
that's right.
Yeah. What just out of interest, in terms of the inquiries that are coming in, are they normally through the website or are they through connections? How are they? How's that working for you?
Well, it's two ways. It's connections and also direct lead purchasing.
Okay.
It's got slightly delayed, as we know our friends in FCA certain wise and compliance over Christmas and New Year. Certain checking has got delayed, so the website will be going live hopefully next 2 or 3 weeks. But we are doing a mixture of direct lead purchasing and referrals, and it's working well.
Good, amazing stuff. Really, really good to hear. Andrew, how are you doing? Tell us a little bit about your business and what you're up to at the minute.
Hi, Chris. Yeah, as you know, IT support company along with telecoms as well. Yeah, you know, December was really quiet for us, but just before New Year's Eve, I had a few repairs in, and it just seems to have snowballed from that point onwards, really. So the first week or so, I've been really, really busy this week. So looking good.
Good. And what's talk to me about plans for 2021?
Well, you know, through January, I think what we're going to do is probably run some special offers throughout the year. January, we're doing an offer with our support contracts. So basically, your first and your last month of the 12-month contract are free. So that's over £100 worth of free technical support for the year. Basically, what it is a minimum of 2 hours, and for that is £55, and you get almost unlimited support on what you guys need for those 2 hours. So it could be on-site, off-site, you know, remote support. As you found out the other day, Chris, you know, with the printer.
No, well, Andrew helps me with my IT, helps the business with my IT, and this move back to the home office, just trying to get everything installed again. Andrew was really good about helping us out with that. So thank you, mate. We appreciate that.
No worries. Yes, you know, as I say, that's the kind of thing that we do. We do repairs, IT support in general. So, you know, remote or on site. You know, any of your IT issues, you know, just give us a shout.
Cool, thank you. And just before we come to Lisa, just want to mention a couple of bits in the comments, because Carol's getting some love about her LinkedIn content, and I'm not connected to Carol on LinkedIn, and as much as the Ross's announcements piqued my interest, I've now not got to connect with Carol on LinkedIn to see what's going on. And just bear in mind that this one of the other things is this does go out live on the Facebook group on Havering Means Business. So if you're watching this either live or on catch up, you're like Lisa and you're like just deciding whether to come in and join the community properly or not, make sure you connect with Carol as well, because I'm sure from the love she's getting in the comments, her LinkedIn stuff is going to be amazing. Lisa, I'll come to you in a minute, but Carol, what are you What do you share on LinkedIn that's so great that you're getting all this love?
A variety, really. Oh, I feel really under pressure now.
Can I just, I've been meaning to ask Carol, if I'm totally honest, are these actually written by you, or are they written by somebody else that does your social media for you?
Oh my goodness, that is the biggest compliment ever. Thank you so much.
They're written by you, right?
They're all written by me, but when you write it yourself, you look at everyone else's, don't you, and think, oh, theirs is better. They must have someone doing their social media.
No,
sorry.
I
don't agree.
I was going to ask you if you could recommend, because I love the way it's so. To be honest, it had to be you because it's very personal, but it's written really professionally as well. And it's always, you always ask a question. And I actually don't comment sometimes. I think I haven't got a good enough answer like that sometimes, but I just think you get the right question to get people chatting to you. And I just think it's great. So, yeah. I mean, you can see that from your posts, from what people are commenting back.
Right, I'm definitely jumping on LinkedIn and taking a look, Carol, and that'll get on one of my weekly videos. I'll make sure I share what's going on over on LinkedIn to what you're up to. But I actually we've looked at outsourcing our content and outsourcing our social media. I don't think it's the way to go, because the impact you get from writing personally and directly, I think, is different. Have you been thinking about that, Carol, or not? What made you decide to do it yourself as opposed to outsource it?
I've always loved a bit of a dabble with social media, so I've always done ours even before I really started working in the business with Martin. Yeah. And yeah, just tried to step the game up. Everyone's saying now, do more personal posts, don't just be selling. I do a lot of shout outs. If I'm doing leaflets for someone, then I'll share the leaflet and share their links. I'll do kind of I sort of call it your classics, Lisa, of just, like a typical day, or what your business looks like. So, or a view from your desk, all that kind of stuff, and try to ask the questions so that you get the engagement. What I am in that's paid is I'm in a LinkedIn group. Where there's a group of us where we all comment on each other's posts that day to try and boost them up. Okay. So I'm trying that for, I think I'm going to do it for about 3 months, see if my engagement goes up. As yet, I haven't had anyone directly saying, oh, I definitely want to use your services, but it is a building up thing, isn't it? It is something that takes time. So
yeah, is that goes back to that relationship again, right? It just all goes back to that, building that relationship. Lisa, sorry, I got curious about Carol's LinkedIn post for a little while. Right. So talk to me about what's going on in your world.
I see quite a few familiar faces on here and a lot of people that I use, so that's great. For those who don't know me, my name is Lisa Cannings and I'm from Abbey Antiques, the Abbey Group. We're a family-run business, have been for over 8 generations. The 9th you saw pop in his head.
He's definitely on board, is he? You've recruited him early.
My kids they're on the website. They've got no choice because my brother can't have children and we haven't come this far for them to. Yeah, gotcha. At the moment, one wants to be a vet and one wants to be a zookeeper, but it's not going to happen. I didn't want to join Abbey Antiques, and look at me. So there you go.
See, the weird thing is, 17 and 9, and they want to do their own thing. So how did you make sure that they're like part of the future?
How do I make sure they're part of it?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think I'm really sad, but someone said the other day, everything in their rooms is something to do with Abbey, like the colour, the branding. I'm just embedding it already. They've got the uniform,
subliminal. I'm persuading them subliminally to do it.
Yeah, so it will happen subconsciously, but my brother joined the business straight from school. I didn't. I went up to London and worked, and I didn't join until, oh my God, I think I've been there 20 years now. So so I came in late, but it will happen eventually. It's again, like my daughter right now, she's going, I don't know whether to do textiles or I don't know where to do PE. You're doing textiles because obviously industry.
Yeah, she hasn't got a choice.
Studies. Yeah, so it's just like those little things, if you want to become a vet, you need to do business studies, darling.
So, I need to get some purple in my kids' bedrooms. I think
honestly,
just get the fellow colours in there.
half their wardrobes all in reds. But yeah, talking about me itself, the business, I would have said I was going to put I've got 12 staff, and I would have said I would have put most of them on furlough. This was the plan before Christmas, and I thought they could have a nice little Christmas holiday. But thank the Lord for the lovely weather we've been getting, and we've had inundated deals with floods and claims. So we do a lot with insurance work, loss adjusters, loss assessors, disaster recovery. There's been burst riverbanks from Cambridge to Norfolk to Bedford. So we are up and down.
Super busy.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. So it's going to be, I will share on the only thing, just to give you an idea of the challenges, I will share it on I'll see if I can do it on the Facebook group page. Got an instruction yesterday, and it's an old water mill. And because of COVID, the customers do not want us using the front door. So we've got to go out the back door with large dining room tables, sideboards, sofas, dressers, across a river that has 2 little narrow planks that's over the water mill. And I got sent the video yesterday, and I thought, and it's got a handrail. So it's a case of either my staff are going to go over or the furniture. So it will be water damage at that point. So these are the kind of challenges that we are facing with COVID, but
so
we'll do it.
It's getting it out safely.
Honestly, when you see the video, I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is ridiculous. There is health and safety level of, like, you know, but you've got to do, this customer is a high network claim, and you kind of got to jump if that's what they want. You've got to do it for the insurance company. But it's ridiculous what they've sent me.
So was that a flood in their place that damaged the
river underneath? So it's an old water mill, and the river underneath the house has actually come up, and then it's gone into the house. But they're all like that. They're literally major, like 8 foot, got a pace of 6 inches. These are like real major floods, floating sofas, and we will go in and we will take care of the furniture that can be restored economically.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Lisa. Really appreciate that. And we'll talk about 2021 plans in a little while. Kelly, hello. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in your world.
Oh, it's a good job I was on mute, because I was just shouting up to make sure my daughter's online on school. So,
did she bring you a coffee before she started? Because that's one of the benefits of having kids, right?
Well, it's meant to be, and I'm usually loading her up with snacks to keep her occupied, but she's just gone up and got loads.
Before we talk about work, how's homeschooling going?
Do you know what? She's really self-sufficient. So other than I need food, and she wants to show me what she's done, because she's 11, so she wants to show me what she's done and things, but she doesn't want my help, because I'm just a hindrance, I think, when it comes to education. I know nothing. I forgot it all. I did my exams. That was it.
I'm when your kids start teaching you stuff, it starts to get a bit worrying, doesn't it? Especially
I don't remember learning half the stuff that she's learning, to be honest. I'm not sure what I was doing, but
so what are you up to work-wise?
Oh, I'm busy. So I know a lot of people on here, but for those that don't, Kelly Bater, as you can see, and I ease the pain that generally comes with employing people. So I work with employers on all things employee related. So most of 2020 was furlough. And it looks like a lot of 2021 is also going to be furlough and managing the staff through these difficult times, and weighing up that balance of the well-being of the employee, but the ongoing
sustainability of the business.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a huge thing, and so that's keeping me occupied, and it's so many challenges for employers at the moment, but they're all going through the same challenges. So it's interesting in how it's applied.
So I'd really interesting, because we do a decent amount of work with HR professionals, and I was talking to an HR professional yesterday who said to me that a lot of her clients are weighing up whether redundancy needs to be considered or not. Are you finding that? And if so, what are you sort of weighing up in terms of whether it's going to be the right way to go? Or are employers saying, look, I'm going to furlough for as long as humanly possible and then worry about redundancy?
So it's a mixture. We've had those that at the very beginning, there was redundancies because they just couldn't sustain the workforce that they had. And then And every time furlough's been extended, there's been a wave of redundancies just because people have been hanging on, thinking, right, okay, this lot of furlough will be able to continue. And then once the next lot's announced, it's just, oh, I can't, because you've got there's costs incurring in the background as well. So it's come in waves, to be honest with you. And yeah, now this first week I've had the same conversations as I've been having each time previously. And just the other day, I was speaking to a pub landlady. She was literally going for about 6 months before the first lockdown, and she's kept her staff on up until now. But she said if it goes on beyond Easter, so she's now got to look at letting staff go because she wants to be able to offer them a job when she reopens. But if this goes beyond Easter, she doesn't think the pub's going to stay open, which is a real shame, because it's like
it's a challenge.
And and so these are the kind of conversations that are happening at the moment. And
talk to me a bit about furlough. So is furlough continuing for those employers until April?
So it's at the end of April. I really don't see it extending beyond then, to be honest with you. And obviously at the moment it's gone back up to the 80%. They're going to be reviewing that at the end of January, but with the lockdown going on until middle of February, I'd say, after the half term, then I don't know, who knows what they're going to do, but I don't think they'll reduce the 80% just yet. I think that will taper off after from March and then into April.
But it's that not knowing for businesses in certain sectors where it's difficult, right?
Oh, it's really difficult. Yeah, it is difficult it's a really tough time for them, and it's just waiting. But now lockdown is costing companies, whereas when the first one happened, a furlough was first announced.
Yeah, it was the 80%, and then no funding from the firm, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. No national insurance, all of that. So it's it's costing firms now. So they're really having to look at that.
Well, hopefully we'll get some clarity soon, and with the vaccine coming up, we might have a bit of optimism on the long term. Kelly, I sent you a message. It's arranged a one-to-one. It'd be good to catch up, actually. So I'll make sure we get that in the diary for the next few weeks.
And it's not all bad. I am planning for beyond lockdowns and COVID and furlough.
I'm glad to hear it. We'll talk about the positive stuff in a minute. Before I haven't got a ledge to lean on here and jump off. But yeah, there is a. The interesting thing is, and we've had this conversation on this call before. Certainly in our business, we've seen a decent level of growth. Back end of from August onwards, but you've got to feel for those businesses who have seen the impact, and hospitality is the big one, isn't it? It's good because they can't do anything. So I really, really feel for people running those sort of businesses. Christine, I don't want to put all the responsibility on your shoulders, but after that conversation with Kelly, I really need cheering up.
Oh, really?
Sorry.
Well, I'll cheer you up. So a lot of our focus this week. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm the half of Perfect Layout Digital Marketing. My partner's Tracy, and so we help everybody or anybody with their websites, their digital marketing, and then we have another thing called our lead generation strategy, which I've spoken about a few times on these meetings. But this week we've been focusing a little bit on our Havering Means Business membership.
Oh, cool. Yes.
And so we've been getting our blogs together and our videos. Tracy's working on one of our videos that we're not doing. I hate my voice, so I don't like being on camera. And Tracy is probably more willing, but not at this point in time. So we're doing a video slightly differently. So we're putting a bit more effort and a bit more.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. What subject is it on?
It's on how to get your business more visible online. So 5 tips.
Amazing stuff. And that'll be on the membership page of the Havering Means Business website, hopefully sort of next week.
Yeah, so a lot of our efforts is obviously getting back to work after we treated ourselves to a nice 2-week break. So I felt like a sloth for a few days, thinking, oh, am I ever going to get myself off my sofa or out of my bed? But now it feels like it was a long time ago. So, but getting back to it, and we've got a few projects in the pipeline. So yeah, we've got a nice bit of work.
Well, thanks for being one of our sort of founder premium members. We really appreciate it, and we've got a few on the call, so that's amazing stuff.
No, we're
so
excited
thank
to
you.
join. So thank you for your energy and pulling this together. So
I have to do it. I think Ian made the point earlier on that there is a need for businesses to collaborate, and if we can help do that, I'm more than happy to make a bit of effort to do it. Ian, talk to me about your plans for 2021, and as we're a little bit short of time and I've got a client meeting at 10:15, wins of the week.
As it's first week of the year, I haven't got any wins of the week. I'm expecting my first win next week. I've got a meeting about refreshing all of my social media, redoing my avatar, all kind of things like that. And that's a really positive step for me. So I'm looking forward to getting that started.
That sounds really good. Julie, talk to me about plans for 2021 and wins of the week.
Plans for 21 is to make your brother go very grey.
Listen, you know what? I pretend that I make an effort with Havering Means Business, but all I do really is go, Russ, can you make sure this is sorted? And he goes, yeah, no worries. And I go, okay, fine. So actually, Russ, he phoned me yesterday, Julie, and said, am I doing a good job? Bless him. And I said, yes, you are. Well done. So I don't know if he's a bit camera shy, but thank you publicly, Russ, for the work you're doing. You're doing amazing work. So apart from making Russ go grey, what
that's my biggest challenge. If I can do that, I've won. Sorry, Russ. Yeah, and to plan a bit better, if that makes sense. Plan a bit better and not.
In what way? In what way?
Get Mother's Day sorted. Generally, for me, Valentine's Day isn't a big winner.
Right.
But because the supermarkets do it so cheap, and at the moment, getting flowers from abroad is a nightmare.
Okay.
Been to the wholesalers twice this week, and it has been empty. So we now have to give 3 days notice for flowers. So I can't just, someone rings me up today, I can't just go and get flowers for a bouquet tomorrow. So there's a bit of planning, and I don't want loads of stock. So then it'll be a waste, and that's not the way I want to work. So
is there an element that you've just got to try and maintain that balance? How do you make sure that you're maintaining that balance appropriately?
Yeah, that's my biggest challenge. A big learning curve, because I'm so used to being able to go there, get it, bring it back. And talk to me about a win. What's been your win of the week? Oh wow, I've got busier. Yeah, good. I've got busier. Words getting out there. Yeah,
good win. Love it. Absolutely love it. Lisa, what's your plans for 2021 and your big win of the week?
Sorry, there's two Lisas. It's confusing.
There is, yeah. Sorry, Lisa Wyatt. Sorry.
So my winner's got to be I came out from the shadows.
Welcome. It's not that bad out here, is it? Let's be honest.
No, it's not.
Well, yeah. Look, the reason we set this community up is to support businesses of all different types, but certainly businesses that need the help. So thank you for joining the community and coming out and chatting to us. So yeah, all good. Talk to me about your 2021 plans. What's going on in your world?
2021 in my world looks like me doing improving me, basically me working on me in doing some trainings, because I believe I need to get more consistent on my social medias. So it's basically just, working on me, really.
Okay, cool. Sounds perfect. Thank you for that. It sounds like an amazing plan for 2021. Simon, talk to me about what's going on in your world in terms of wins and your 2021 plans.
Right, personal wins. I'm still walking the dog at 5 o'clock in the morning. And the dog's now reminding me that he needs to walk at 5 o'clock in the morning. Business wins this week, I would say working with new clients and a new client saying thank you before the call ended. It's quite difficult sometimes to go in blind with a client that your colleague has been working with. You need to try and pick up the pieces, and then when you try and pick up the pieces, you know, you might be starting off at a different point, but both, well, actually 3 of them have said thank you very much, been really, really useful, and now they're sort of like speeding off in another direction now. Personal goals, I'm responsible for clients in the Havering area. So what I would like to do is to try and get more Havering SMEs utilising our free services. So it's really about spreading the word and making sure that people know about us. It's a bit like what Ross was saying earlier on. It's great.
Awareness, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But you don't want to be the best kept secret.
Yeah, absolutely. So just spreading the awareness, making people know a bit more about you, and certainly, Simon, if we can help with that, we'll definitely intend to do so. So all good. Ross, I know we've talked about your 2021 goals. Talk to me a little bit about your wins.
So I guess the fact that I started off the year with a small to-do list, and it's allowed me to kind of, you know, focus on what's coming up. But also we've had really good stories, and we've got some really good stories coming up. And also we've had a good start to the year in sales. So it's generally been a good start.
Amazing, great stuff. Thanks, Ross. Really appreciate that. Sharon, I'd imagine one of your wins is just getting all your clients ready before sort of 31st of Jan, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just parking those tax returns. and the next win is setting up our next webinar, which is on life after Brexit. So we're doing that with a law partner. So it should be very interesting.
See, it's interesting because we've got a bunch of webinars coming up. We're doing one a month over the next 6 months. And what Lisa said about learning and self-development, we're finding people are really interested in helping, learning more about not only their business, but aspects that can help them with their life. So are you finding that? Are you finding those are popular?
We have. I've done one, and the first one I was really, really surprised how many people we had subscribed, and then not just subscribe, but actually turn up on the day. And the feedback afterwards has been really, really good. It's led to a lot of discussion, so it's been very good.
Yeah, I think the one we've missed an opportunity. I'm talking about Savello, not Avery Means Business, but we missed an opportunity because some of you saw that I posted on the group. We did a piece of estate planning work for one of our clients this week, and saved him just by using. Unfortunately, his mum passed away. He's a client of ours. He's been a client of ours for a number of years, and he was doing all the probate. He said, "Like, I need your help," so happy to help him with that. And he missed using his dad's IHT allowance, which he can bring forward, and it saved him 115 grand in tax. So I think how many people know about all the reliefs and allowances, particularly when they're going through this process. So I think I'd probably need to add another webinar to a schedule to make sure people are aware of that sort of stuff, because we've had some, I've had a few messages from people saying, look, actually I'm worried about this for my mum, so I probably need to do some work on that. But yeah, webinars I think for professional services are definitely the way forward, right, Sharon?
I know, definitely. We've got a few lined up now. We've got, and you know about our April ones, so we've got a few lined up way past April, so it's good.
Great. Good to hear. Carol, talk to me about 2021 plans and wins.
Keeping going, getting some growth, getting this out of the way so that, we can really, that was the plan for 2021, was obviously to be way up on last year with all the difficulties of last year's. So yeah, just really just pushing, getting out there, making sure people know we're here. People buy from people, don't they? So yeah, making sure we're around as much as we can be. Getting stuck in with Havering Means Business, just absolutely can't wait. So thank you.
No, you're welcome. Love it. Thanks for being part of the community. We appreciate it.
And then I don't know what to say for my personal wins. Just being back on it. And
running.
Mark is doing this in the background.
But you know
what? Running, I've already bored you.
You know what? Getting out and running in January in this weather, Carol, is a win, right? You know, just getting out and making sure that you don't step out and go, actually, I'm going to leave it today and step back in. That sounds like a win to me.
We've got to try, right?
Got to try. And amazing LinkedIn content. So I look forward to reading that. That'd be good. Kevin, talk to me about 2021 plans and wins, please, mate.
Okay, the wins is, mate, after 6 months, we're running a profitable business. From the start of June, I've been myself. Adapt to what we've got. I think we've got to get more on the awareness side. Webinars, we haven't done enough of, or we haven't done them. So willing to learn on that side.
Yeah, you know what? Webinars are relatively new for us as well. But I think, like, the conversation today has been about building that relationship of trust by sharing knowledge, and we do a bit of that online, but I think webinars are a really good opportunity to do that. Sharon, can I just for the benefit of everybody in the group, because you've done a couple already, haven't you? Talk to me about what you do with the content after. So do you share it openly, or does it stay where it is? Do you record it? What happens to it?
So there's a few things. We did record it. Yeah. And we toyed with releasing it as this is the recording, and so actually we can rerun this webinar because it's stuff it's relevant and it will be relevant for ages. So we decided actually not to release the recording, because it's something that we may rerun sort of in 6-8 month time. So we didn't release the recording, but the ebook that I'm doing is coming off the back of this and the interest that it sparked. So it's other things come from it, which is good. Yeah,
one of the things that we're going to be doing is putting all of our webinars on the Havering Means Business learning platform, so that for anybody who wants access to it and they're a premium member, they can get access to it on there, and that makes sense to us. What we'll probably do is just cut up the webinar as well into small bite-sized chunks. But Sharon, that might be a conversation that you and I have about your webinars and whether we want to do that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool. Sorry, Kevin. Talk to me a little bit about the webinars you're planning then, mate.
Well, I think we've got to go more into case studies, Chris. Yeah. Like you brought up about probate. Come talk more about situations where the lifetime mortgage can be applied, i.e. divorce, purchase, gifting, supplemental income. So that is something we will need to really look at more and develop. We've spoken to one of the lenders already, who seem to be quite happy to assist, but in very early stages.
Great stuff. I know our mate Dave Forsdyke does a decent amount on that, and so yeah, if you need to connect or have a chat with Dave, I'm sure the world's small enough that he'll be happy to help. What's your big win this week? Oh, the profitability.
Really to be honest with you, getting back into it and finding. Not stalling wheat. Done a couple of good cases with clients and progressing well. So back on the running treadmill virtually straight away. That's the best way I'll be doing the running.
Carol and I will see you out for a proper run if you want. I mean, we could have a Havering Means Business running club, couldn't we?
That'd be slower than you, Chris.
Andrew, talk to me about plans for 2021 and wins for the week for you, mate.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned earlier, hopefully running a series of special offers.
Running? Are we back to running again?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as I say, hopefully running some special offers throughout the year. And, wins of the week is basically hopefully starting the year as it needs to go. I'm being really busy this week, so hopefully it will continue through.
Well, my win of the week is my printer actually works. So thank you again.
No worries. As I say, it's much easier for me to come down and sort it out for you rather than sitting there trying to do it remotely. So I just, got there and done it for you.
Cheers, appreciate it. Lisa, I forgot there was 2 Lisas on the call, but Lisa Cannings, talk to me about 2021 and wins of the week for you.
That was the 9th generation coming in for a laptop, even though she's got a Chromebook. What wins? I'm saying, like, we're really lucky. This was yesterday's printout. That was just yesterday's little confirmation, so that's nice. We've got a few from last year, so it's always good to do.
Is January normally busy because of the weather challenges?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. Summer's not great for us. Winter time is good. So yeah, and there are fires in that as well, so it's all good because Christmas decorations, candles, they set alight, and yeah, so it always is guaranteed. It's like, I bet what ones we're going to get this year. So, so the wins hopefully just keep coming. Successes. I'm going to be out of isolation tomorrow because I've had COVID, so that's a success. So I can start running again. So I do my Sunday run, so I'll be looking forward to that. I've missed that. Hopefully another success. I get to play golf with Terry and get back out on the golf course when we're allowed out of lockdown. But I think what I'm focusing on this year is Google, I've left to one side, not really spent much time on it. And I didn't even know we had a review page and things. So I said I'm going to try and focus and get people writing reviews on that and get some more testimonials and build that up rather than just doing it on my Facebook page, just trying to get it actually out there. So it's a bit of a minefield. It's a new thing and it's worth setting yourself something to do.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, we've neglected that, to be honest. So we'll have to have a look at that issue as well. But thanks, Lisa. Really appreciate that.
And again, anybody wants me to write a review that I've used here, then let me know and I'll do that. So
yeah, amazing. Thank you. Appreciate that. Kelly, talk to me about your wins of the week and 2021.
Yeah, so wins for the week. I've done a lot of planning this week. I actually feel like I've got 2021 planned. I mean, I know, the government will completely throw it out of the water, but I feel organised at the moment, so that's all good. I mean, that doesn't normally happen in January. And plans for 2021 is I'm just improving the offerings that I've got for my clients. I've got an app being designed at the moment so that employers can have information and access to stuff just at a click of a button. So we're designing that at the moment. So that's exciting.
When's that due to come out?
Well, I'm thinking March at the moment, just because I've got to come up with all the content. But I mean, who would have thought get excited about an app for HR? But there we go.
Yeah, you know what? I've had. I mean, again, it's one of the jobs that Russ has had to do as opposed to me, because it's one of those jobs where I've gone, Russ, can you sort this out for me? I
need a Russ. I think.
Russ. We all need a Russ. We all need a Russ. But the Havering, I've been excited about the Havering Means Business website, and we'll be launching that. But who would have thought you get excited about a website, right? It's just one of those things. Yeah. So who's building your app?
It's Mark Day at Easy Apps.
He's a member of the group, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, fabulous. He's very patient. But yeah, so it's all good. Just improving the offerings. I just want to make life easier for my clients and as far as their employees come. So that's my aim for 2021.
Amazing. Sounds good. And Terry, last but not least, I think I've covered everybody else. Talk to us about wins of the week and what's going on in 2021 for you.
Wins of the week's got to be a couple of people I spoke to at the tail end of last year, introducers that have come back and asked me to give them quotes already. One of them's taken out policy for himself, so good to have that very quick response to the initial engagement. So yeah, pleased with that. Plans for 21, continue the momentum from Q4 last year, and get more engagement on our social media, something that Gemma's really focused on at the moment. So any feedback you guys want to give us on any of our posts on Facebook or LinkedIn, please, just feel free, be honest with us. And
would it be useful, and it probably won't be today, we'll do it next week, we'll do a little social media share post on Havering Means Business. So because I didn't know about Carol's LinkedIn content, so that's Carol, I am expecting to be impressed by this now. It's been picked up quite a lot.
So
next week we'll do a little post, and if we can all share each other's LinkedIn profiles and where we are online, then we can, if we're not connected to each other on other channels, we can do that. Does that sound all right?
Yeah, Lisa's got your business as well. That's something that I set up the page and just left it. and
Yeah, and
we need to look at.
And then just another thought. One other thing that might be worth exploring is having something where we do comment, reply on each other's posters support. But Carol, I might need your help in terms of how you sort of set that up, because you're doing that at the minute, aren't you? So let's think about how we do that as well. But yeah, social media, Terry, for 2021 sounds pretty good. I mean, the problem is it'll be another job for Russ, Julie. That's the problem. It'll be a Russ job, and I think there should be a competition in who turns Russ's hair grey first, and I've got a feeling it will be me, to be honest. Anyway, he's staying really quiet. He's not getting involved. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining us on the first Havering Means Business morning commute of 2021. Lovely to see everybody. Have a lovely Friday, and I will see you next time on the morning commute.
See you later.
See you later.
Cheers,
Bye.
Bye.